Hello and welcome back to the finishing line. And we've no Tom, but joined by Sean, who was one of the men that held the fort last week, and Andrew is back. He's not sick anymore.
I'm not dead. It's great.
Unfortunately.
Now, fuck this. No, sorry. I'm starting in 2 seconds. You nearly died like 6 times and I never said it once.
Andrew, did you have a good weekend?
No, I didn't, you bastards.
Sean, did you have a good weekend?
I had one of the best weekends of my life there with you and the lads all out at Leopardstown. That was a story to behold.
I missed out on about 14 minutes.
It was a proper lads weekend, man. It was like a stag.
Oh yeah, it was start to finish, all the stuff in between and the racing on top. It was just brilliant. It was.
Yeah, it was very good.
You did do a catchphrase, Sean.
In a statement. That one.
Catchphrase.
What's the catchphrase?
Slow the race and to get stuck into lads, can't wait. He says it every week.
Jesus Christ.
That's his catchphrase.
For anybody joining us, we are going to review the main races that the lads talked about last week on the podcast, the Grade 1 races and the Grade 2 bumpers. And we'll touch on one handicap in particular then. There's no preview for the weekend, taking a little break from tipping up horses. Not a bad card on Newbury on Saturday, but I would suspect there's going to be a lot of non-runners with the ground basically on kind of good to firm at this time of year. It's not great, like really. Some issue with the water or whatever.
Snow rain coming out that sky.
Yes, it's fucking raining all the time and they can't keep the ground wet. I don't know what's going on. Do the usual, like and subscribe. Leave your comments below.
We go through them throughout the show, as always.
On behalf of myself, Tom, and Sean, who are up at the Dublin Racing Festival, thank you for anybody that came over and said hello, came over and want to take a picture or whatever else. It's happened a few times on Punchestown and Leopardstown last year, but I was even talking to Andrew about when we got home. Again, it's just a hugely wide demographic from people I'd say in their 80s to young lads standing beside us wanting to join in the crack that myself, Tom and Sean and all the lads were having. So obviously touching a wide audience, which is good, and loads of new faces again and some familiar faces. I was talking to the owner of Festival Vega's brother. That didn't turn out too good in the end, but sure, look. Thank you to everybody for coming up and saying hello, and do the usual, like and subscribe, helps the channel, and it's good that we're reaching more. We've a lot of new subscriptions in the last few months, didn't we?
It is. We're picking up nicely now. It's all helping. We're growing bigger, and it gives us the emphasis to actually keep going, because it might look like we just turn up. Well, we do just turn up and do this, but there's a lot goes on behind the scenes with organising races and whatnot and research. But it gives us the emphasis to keep going. So look, as Dave said, we much appreciate it.
Okay, we'll kick on.
You're still a dickhead, though.
Sure, look, you missed out on a great weekend.
Me.
We'll kick on the first race, the stayers version for the novices, and we had Goodland winning, who is Ballymore bound, I think. Absolute Notions ran on to be second, and Sander Clegane looked outpaced. And I wouldn't say I'm delighted, but I think he still has a good chance in Albert Bartlett. Thought it was a good race. Goodland was probably in the prime position and had a little bit more pace than the other two.
Yeah. I was really impressed by this run. Sitting on my couch at home while all you were on the beer. Anyway,
it was great.
Look, it was a very good performance. He came in here off the back of a good maiden win, which is working out to be a decent enough maiden. He, as you said, he was in a good position. Mikey O'Connor is turned into be one of the finds of the season. He couldn't claim here, but yes, he still gave this thing an unbelievable ride. As you said there, look, he's going to the Ballymore. The thing is, he's a 7-year-old, which I think is going to work in his favour, because he's kind of in his prime maturity, as in, I doubt that the whole Razzmatazz Gentleman is going to get to him. Jumped well. The only thing that I thought he would have went and done after jumping last was pull away, but Absolute Notions actually closed on him. But drop back and trip for the Ballymore, I think it's going to suit him down to the round. Right now, I probably have him as the most likeliest winner of the Ballymore. It's a wide open race that I haven't really got stuck into it yet. But I think he's a really good horse, and he's only going to get better with racing. Absolute Notion's just an out and out Albert Bartlett horse. He stayed on again for the finish, was outpaced, stayed on. He could play a big hand in that. As we say, what we always look for is a horse that has lots of runs for an Albert Bartlett. He's only having 3 over hurdles. But Step Up and Trip seems to work on Oracle, and I think he'll be on the note for the Albert Bartlett. So yeah.
Sean, what you think?
Yeah, Goodland was very good here. He stamped his class all over him, didn't he? I don't think he was ever about a length or 2 marks away from we've all been caught the whole way around. He sat on his bridle. He was a little keen, which thankfully the Ballymore is a furlong less. I wouldn't want to see him getting too worked up at Cheltenham now. But he jumped for joy and he stamped his class all over it. And as Andrew said, Absolute Notions kept on. I reckon him and Sandra Clegane will go to Bartlett. And back to 4, Cool Survivor. I'm not too sure about his mark, but I reckon something like a Martin Pipe might be up his street. So a good little race there to start off.
Yeah, I thought it was a good race. Pity we didn't get the winner, but sure, look, I think some of the lads had him. I think Putty had him back.
Oh, shock.
And Kubo.
What do you make of it?
I thought the fastest horse in the race won. It was a bit like the year that Gaillard de Menil, who ended up being terribly slow, but he was faster than all the ones in that. And then Vanillier was in that race, I think, and ended up coming out and winning Bartlett.
I thought Sandor ran a very good race. He was there all the way up to the last, and he plugged on again at the end.
He looked like a horse that maybe wasn't fully fit. I think perfect in the Ballymore, and I had said to the lads I wanted him to lead, and he didn't lead, so I'd like to see him leading in the Ballymore now, or the Bartlett.
Well, what might suit him more is a bit of slower ground to slow him down.
Yeah, and I think he'll like the hill. He's definitely he's a 3 mile or 3 mile chaser, so he was
like the winner took her up like Mikey O'Sullivan. I think that shows his confidence at the moment. He took her up at the second last, and he had no worries about him getting home now. And he kicked a few lengths. But I just think if it was that 3 mile, I don't think he's in the Bartlett, isn't he? Not. He's only in the Ballymore. So
no,
he's only in the Ballymore.
He's definitely in the Ballymore.
So that's his definite route.
Isn't Barry Conley doing some job of training?
Yeah, he's doing a very good job.
All the money he spent on giving them to other trainers, he's actually doing a great job himself.
He's turned it around. The second one, the spring juvenile hurdle, a trial for the Triumph, and Lossiemouth was, I think, 4-11 favourite. She did not get the best trip in the world, and the second string, Gala Marceau, turned the form around from the last day with Lossiemouth, and Takeo was in third. Paul got given out to a little bit, I suppose.
Really? All weekend?
By Willie Mullins for a few rides, but this was the first one.
Every second race in RT, Willie Mullins. Oh, God. What?
And I think Willie was given out because he said he gave Lossiemouth a hard race after probably she lost the race. I think it was the third last when the mistake, and she got shuffled back. To me, it wasn't that bad. I think I was talking to Sean all weekend, and if it was very, very hard to make up ground all weekend. Whether that was to do with the ground, but Leopardstown can be like that. Lossiemouth came, looked like she was going to win. Another one that did that over the course of the weekend was Liberty Dance. She came there on the bridle, jumped the last, and then couldn't get to the front runners, which kind of happened all weekend. So I wouldn't be too critical of Paul, and I probably think Lossiemouth's still the horse to beat in the Triumph.
Yeah, she's definitely the one to beat. The best horse lost in the story. Like when I was watching, I don't know if you saw it when you were actually up there, but she got rattled back really. Like there's a double-edged sword to this, the whole second string in there. Well, it was probably the fourth string, but this was the pacemaker. And I know we all give out about, why didn't they run a pacemaker? This is what can happen when you run a pacemaker. I know Paul would probably positioned in the wrong way in against the rail, where I think our last 2 runs, she was wide the whole time.
Yeah, she was wide, yeah.
He'll obviously hold his hands up and say, look, I got it wrong, whatever. But the winner, Gala Marceau, for a horse to pull as much as she did, or he did, was it she did the whole way around, and to be still going as strong as she was at the end, that was a decent performance There's no getting away from
Yeah,
it.
she's
But
not a bad filly.
look, if Lossie Mayo had a clear run, I've no doubt she would have won because of the amount of ground she had to make up from 3 out today. Was a hell of a lot of ground. As Willie said, I hope it doesn't leave a mark on her because that was 3 kind of quick runs in succession. I think there's only like 3-4 weeks in between each run.
Yeah.
That could be the problem. Look, Willie Mullins, I think, has the win of the Triumph either way, whereas Lossie Mayo, Blood Destiny, or Ganamar. So I think one of them will definitely win it. But yeah, look, Lossie Mayo is one I'd probably still side with right now. But that again, that's the problem around having pacemakers sometimes. You never know when they're going to drop out, when you're going to get suffered back. If it's your own horse, it happens.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Paul has a choice of 3 now, so
he's not going to get off Lossie Mayo.
Blood Destiny is very good as well. Sean, what did you think?
Yeah, no, this was a very good performance from Garlic Moore. So it was a proper race. Pacemaker in there. I was running at a good time as well. She went very well. Just on what you said about Paul, like I had a look back, and at the 4th hurdle, the leader hits it and he jumps onto the back of her. And then, similar enough, when the incident happens at the 5th, again, the front runner hits the hurdle and Paul jumps and he's right up the back. And anyone that thinks that was team tactics here, go and have a look at the replay. Danny Mullins did not let Danny Mullins squeezed this leader in and didn't leave any room at all for Lossie Mayo to come through. That's what ended up pegging her back because she tried to get in before the rail, but then the rail come and Danny rode the front runner very tight to the rail and gave him no chance. Good race riding, in my opinion. And they kicked away. As you said, I don't know how much it's going to take our Lossie Mayo now with Cheltenham. 5 weeks away. That was a mammoth run to get into second. And we thought maybe coming to the last she was going to go and get her, but Carla Marceau was not for stopping. I thought she was a very, very good performance. And at 5-1, she's one of them robbery each way bets in the Triumph Hurdle, let's say. I'd be shocked if she was outside the front 3. That was a very good performance, in my opinion.
She is one though that could get herself really, really worked up.
Yeah, revved up. Yeah, she might not like the whole hustle and bustle of the whole thing.
If there's a lot of runners in the Triumph now, she could be fucking gone ballistic down to the start even.
It makes for a good race. Definitely makes for a good race.
I think I'd like Blood Destiny. I've liked him since he won his maiden at Cork. He's a horse you cannot leave go off now on his own because he will not come back.
I doubt the English really have much in that race, but we shall see.
Yeah.
3rd race, the Irish Arkle and El Fabiolo, although jumping was a bit sketchy and he did make one bad mistake, clearly has a really big engine. Put it up to John Bond last year, and he beat Banbridge and I think Appreciated was 3rd. I was a bit disappointed with Banbridge because he was never really put into the race, to be honest. Stayed on. He looked like he's going to the Turners now, but another one I wanted to lead. But there you go.
Love a front runner.
Yeah, especially around Leopardstown. I thought El Fabiolo was very good. In my opinion, I think the Arkle is John Bond's to lose. He's by and away the best jumper. And we're kind of waiting for the Willie Mullins horses to come out. He was the one that was probably least fancied. And he done the business. His form with John Bond last year at Aintree, obviously, they're very close there. But jumping fence is a different kettle of fish, and John Bond jumps them spectacularly.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'll touch on this first. This is one performance I did not expect to see over the weekend. I never thought he'd put this together, but Jesus Christ, to win by 10 lengths and make the howler he did, I think it was 4 out. There is some engine under that bonnet. Banbridge, as you said, look, he was probably ridden to finish. But saying that, he did win over 2 miles at Cheltenham in November. We always said he wasn't a 2 miler. He was best going to be over a trip.
I think his best performance this year will be at the festival. But he had a couple of races there now where he was just plodding.
Like the one at Fairy House over Christmas and all that. But does he win at Turner's? No, he doesn't. He doesn't. There's one we'll talk on after that does. But El Fabiolo's performance, look, he's jumping problems. But Christ, there's an engine there. Appreciate it, Sean. Slow and 9 for a 2 miler. It's a shame no one told you. But I thought this would happen. I wouldn't have went near him at that price. This is full.
Oh, good catch.
We're good. I forgot to put one on top.
It's definitely 100% going to fall at some stage.
Appreciate it. Look, I couldn't even back him for a turn on the back of that. His jumping was really slow. He mistake at the second. He just seems to be behind the bridle a lot. Again, I think the Turner's horse we'll talk about in a few minutes. But same with Dysart. I can't see him winning an Arkle. Just touch on Elfab and Jambon. Jambon's jumping is a different level to what El Fabiolo's is. This was over 2 mile one. I know it's only 1 furlong, but 1 furlong less around Channel. I think it's even 1 furlong and a half less.
Yeah, it's about 1 mile.
It's a mile seven and a half furlongs.
Yeah.
That's not going to suit El Fabiolo.
No.
It'll suit Jambon 100%. I think they let him go in front and just use his jumping. He's electric and he has a turn of foot as well. I know there was only a nose or something in between him at Aintree last season. But Arkle boys, I think Jambon is an absolute tailored Arkle horse.
Sean?
Yeah, this performance was unbelievable. Now, I didn't see this coming from anywhere. I thought his jumping the first day was a little bit scruffy, but this was unbelievable. I have a little sections here for you. The handicap that was ran on the same day, final orders, and down to the first, they were already 7 lengths clear. And then we skip on to the third, where they were 23 lengths clear. We skip on to the 6th, where they were 31 lengths clear. And on to the 8th, where they were 37. And for the pace to go off like that, they didn't stop at all, because at the finish line, El Fabiolo was still 36 lengths clear of the handicap final orders on the day, which tell you this pace didn't stop at all. I thought it was a mammoth, and this is big, big, big opposition to Jambon, let me tell you that. His mistake at 8 was very bad. If he was to win an Arkle, he can't make a mistake like that at all. It's jumping. People question his jumping, and I had a look. He doesn't look the cleanest over a fence at all. I'm not too sure what it is. Yeah, he's a bit awkward and sorting his legs out. But 8 was the massive mistake. To be making a mistake at that clip they were going and still have left in the tank to win by 10 lengths was an unbelievable performance from me. To touch on Appreciate it, I personally just don't think he was good enough. I thought he came with his chance. He was there on the bend and he just flattened out. He didn't go home at all. For people that think maybe he was a stayer, I thought he should have been staying stronger than that, and he didn't get any further clear. Dysart Dynamo at all, who we thought might have stopped it altogether. But as you said, an Arkle which is a 4 long and a half shorter, I think that might just play into Dysart Dynamo's hands. I don't think he'd beat the two, but I think he could definitely carry them down to probably near enough to last. But just Dyno coming up that extra 4 long at Leopardstown the last day. But this was a big performance for me on El Fabiolo and proper competition for Jambon the Arkle.
I think it was a race that was just run at a ridiculous pace again.
Yeah, it was very fast, but
like I know you're getting your times with your the handicap chase, but you're talking about 2 different caliber of horses.
Oh yeah, no, but I was just showing like the clip that they gone, and they didn't stop is my point. Big time there. Like normally to go off like that, they'd have to be stopping at some stage, but he pulled away again and won by 10 lengths.
Like, it was a good performance.
Excuse me. He's very, very, very good. I didn't think we'd see it, but it's just something telling me he's going to make an absolute, not a howler. He's going to make a bad enough mistake that'll cost him momentum in a crucial stage.
Yeah,
where the likes of it, Jambon will be gone.
Yeah, well, if he makes a mistake like he did the other day, he won't win because Jambon is just too slick over the fences.
Like everyone was all for Jambon and everything, and I am and was and still am. And now they're going back. They're trying to find little leany things wrong. Oh, sure, he only beat Boot Hill. Oh, sure, he only beat Montmoral.
So for me, anyway, Jambon is the one to beat.
He's doing it on his own pace and he's picking up then.
Yeah.
But,
the 4th race was the Irish Gold Cup, and Gallopin de Champ done the business. Everyone was happy enough. Statler ran Fury Road out of it for second. Statler looks like he'll love the extra 2 furlongs at Cheltenham. Fury Road for me needs dropping back into maybe the Ryanair. He could be the Ryanair horse because Conflated is going for the Gold Cup. But good performance from Gallopin. I see people on Twitter questioning. For me, he's the right favourite. I was surprised that the bookies pushed him out a little bit. I was talking to some of the lads when we were watching it. Looked a perfect kind of schooling race to me. Paul was purposely putting him in behind horses, and when he was jumping the fences fast and wanting to go forward, Paul was dragging him back. I think he purposely wanted him to have a battle up the straight from the second last. Teach the horse that you just can't run away and win all the time. Gave him one crack of the whip on the way up, 1 by 8 lengths. I think he's probably one of the better bets at Cheltenham. Of all the ones that are short and stuff. Naturally, Gold Cup is a strong race, but he's the beating of the Irish horses, and I don't think Brave Man's Game is going to beat him.
No, if you look at the performance, if you said to me this time next year, last year, if that makes sense, that Galpin the Champ will be able to be put asleep in a race, and then you'll be able to wake him up when you want them, I would say, yeah, you're a bit nuts there. Just let him off and fly out in the front. They're at their teaching. This horse at the maturing is so fast, it's not even funny.
Yep.
This horse has literally been put asleep in a race, and he's half out of it. But when you want him, by God, is he there? Perfect race. They taught him. Paul gave him a lovely ride. Taught him what he needed to teach him. From what I really liked was when Fury Road came across him at the last, bumped him. He was so quick to get his legs back together, and he sprinted away to win by 8 lengths. To me personally, I think, as you said there, I think he's one of the best bets of the festival. I think nobody hates a second. He'll finish in the places. He's a good horse, but he's not a great horse. You have Protectorat, you have Brave Man's Game, you have Absolute Heart, who if he comes back, he'd probably be the biggest danger. But to me, he's one that's just going that way very, very, very quickly.
He's on an upward trajectory.
I don't even think Statler. To me, that was just eyes playing.
Oh no, Statler stayed, but he wouldn't. I've no issues with Galopin staying the trip now.
It's not even that. It's Statler came past a horse that was stopping. If you go back and look at the race, Statler did not gain anything on Galopin.
I know he went past him. I had Fury Road to be second.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh no. He did not gain on anything. This is why people are saying, "Oh, he's going to love the extra trip. He's going to love it. He finished really fast." He didn't. He just passed the horse that was stopping.
Statler's a bit slow.
But Fury Road dropped down to Ryanair and have a huge chance of.
I'd like that now in the Ryanair.
He's 12 to 1, 14 to 1 around that.
I'd back him each way, anyway.
But yeah, Galopin just wins the Gold Cup, and he's second now, ran another great race for the.
Yeah, he's too old.
For the Grand National.
Sean Galopin, legend.
Yeah, this is a monster performance now. He's the real deal. And after the race, you had a couple come up to me and say, "Geez, I wasn't happy at all with Galopin there. He only pulled away." But as you said, this was a massive skilling race, and I think this is where they made a man of him before Gold Cup. And Paul Townend had him in behind horses the whole way around, in and around them. Even up to the second last, he still stayed in behind. And down to the last, I really, really think they wanted him to. I'd say that's the first time that he's definitely jumped the fence. And anyways, with a horse at the last, which will stand to him, of course, and come to Cheltenham if they get into a race. And he does have to jump the last alongside something. But I thought, as you said, we all thought at the time it was a big training day for him. And I think he's a standout. I cannot see him. He has a smashing chance in the Gold Cup. An absolutely smashing chance. And as you said, at the shorter prices, he is definitely one I'd be staying on side of.
What I liked as well was, I was on about what's the fucking Rob Court horse that won the Galmai? Tihupu. When he stopped after the line, this fella took him half the
took him half the track around to pull him up. He definitely stay, and I know people were probably expecting this monstrous 20-length bashing of the horses.
You don't win Gold Cups like that.
Cheltenham is another 5 weeks away. You don't need to win by 20 lengths if you know you can win by 4 or 5 and do it cozily and help the horse for future targets.
It'll take something extraordinary to beat him now in March.
Yes, I agree. Big handicap on the day, a lot of money on Maxim. It was won by Percival Legalois. A good weekend for Cromwell. But I think everybody was left with a little bit of a sour taste in their mouth. If you backed Maxim, to me, he was never put into the race. The winner was right around where he was. I think the winner was behind him the last day as well. you're up watching the race, and I'm sure on the telly it might look a little bit different, but he just didn't even do anything. It was like, if Tom had mentioned it all week and said, why is he running here if he could go to the Pretemps and possibly win the Pretemps? And I think with about 2 hurdles to go, Tom went, maybe they're trying to get the mark dropped a little bit. But it looked a dodgy one to me, but there you go.
I watched it from the telly. He always looked like he was going to get himself in trouble.
Yeah.
As you said, he was upsized per. What's his name?
Percival Legalwa.
I got shuffled back and all that jazz. Look, I totally agree with Tom. When I seen this fella entered, not even declared, when I seen him enter, like, what the hell are they entering him for? And then they declared him. Either they were definitely trying to get his mark down a bit, or they just had an absolute brain fart. They entering him. Like, what, he went up 18 pounds or something like that for his last bit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember what it was. But God, if he's a Pertemps horse, you don't run him unless he's not working at home or something's going wrong at home, and something fishy about it. That's all I can say. I'm not saying like the horse was stopped or anything like that, but he did run on in the end.
Yeah, Sean, what you think?
Yeah, I was dead shocked. I was very shocked at this now. The winner turned the best part of 40 lengths. Like, he beat him by, I think it was 15 here, and he was beaten by about 25 at Christmas for 11 pounds. I thought when they jumped the second last, he was in alongside the winner. Blue Sari was coming back. The winner went outside. I thought Maxim might have been pulled out to follow him around. He ended up getting stuck in at the rail, and he didn't come out in the round, and the race was over from that. The winner kicked and they were gone. As you said, we took some nice price on this fella. He was backed all the way back down into 5-4 on the track, and it just didn't go away.
Yeah, it was crazy gamble. Oh yeah, it was even money.
There was a lot of unhappy people.
There was everyone up there was, this is the one today now, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
That was the GSI horse.
Yeah, but there you go. The bumper, a lot of decent horses in this. We thought maybe a really strong performance might shake up the bumper market, but it was won by an outsider, a dream to share, John Kiley's horse. Factifoil, Patrick's horse for Willie, 2-1 favourite, was second, and Ferranelli, who was backed and then drifted and backed and drifted. The Emmett Mullins horse was third. I know some people like this, the dream to share now, but I still can't make head nor tails of the bumper. I think the boys, Tom and Sean, probably have the right one on their side. Queen's Gamble, I don't know what to make of her performance yesterday. Margaret Raisin's very, very sharp track. I wouldn't have thought it would suit her. I think she kicked for home way too soon as well. Set it up for the closer. I still think she's an each way chance with her Cheltenham form, but I don't know. I can't make head nor tails of the bumper. I don't. I'm sure this fella will go there with a chance, but
yeah, I thought visually it looked very impressive. I thought when he went past Factor Foil, I loved the way he started stretching out, he extending his body. There seemed to be a lot of power coming from his back end. With the camera angle that I was watching it, he just stretched to the line and he wasn't stopping. I think he probably won't get enough credit because it kind of happened a bit this season. There's 3 horses that won in the summer who are suddenly after throwing their hats into the Cheltenham race. Like, you have Marie National who won a bumper in the summer, you have Cham Kiley who won a maiden hurdle in Galway in the summer, and you have this fellow who won a bumper.
Usually doesn't happen.
Doesn't happen. Rarely happens. And now 3 of these are coming in with big chances at the Cheltenham. Do I think it's good enough to win a champion bumper? God only knows it's good enough to win a champion bumper, because again, I'll always say we haven't a clue how much they're going to improve from 1 run to 2 run to 3 runs. But it was a very good performance, and he'll always go under the radar because he's trained by John Kiley and he's owned by Brian Gleeson. So he'll go under the radar. I think he's still about 10-12 to 1. If he improves from that, he has a right chance, but I agree with you. The best performance so far has been
It's for me.
It's for me. It was that good. I remembered his name.
It's for me.
It broke Twitter for about a week and I forgot his name already. But yeah, decent performance. I wouldn't put anyone off having a bet on him in the bumper.
Sean, what did you think?
Yeah, this is a good performance. He gave the field £3. He won well. He showed a lot of gears. He travelled onto the bend, and he was the only one left on the bridle. I think Factor Foil's a stayer, and I was a little bit disappointed. I'm not going to lie. When he swung in on the bend, he was on the bridle and he kicked. I thought he was going to go and do this by about 5 or 10 lengths, but once he kicks, he doesn't really put any distance between him and Factor Foil, and it holds at 3 lengths from the wings of the last nearly down to the line. I thought he might go away a little bit more. But saying that, it was a good performance, the best bumper we've probably had this year. And he's 13-2. I think on the day, you definitely need to get bigger with that being a John Kiley horse. And the likes of Elliot horses now will definitely be in front of him, I reckon, come the champion bumper day. So I think if you're going to back him, you might be better off holding until the day.
Yeah. Okay, we'll kick on to Sunday. And first big race, the Labrooks Novice Chase, the intermediate trip, and Mighty Potter done the business. Even Money, adamantly chosen, ran on to be second. And Gare de Menil is just literally the slowest joke ever.
So
It's
happy watching
crazy. Like, I was third. To be fair to Gare de Menil, he seems to have got his jumping better, but I just don't think he liked.
4 miler, here we come, Dave.
Sean mentioned it that he don't like winning races, right? And then someone banged on at Christmas that he won the race. Like, the race fell apart at Christmas, and he beat Churchstone Warrior. Like, I mean, he's definitely good enough to beat Churchstone Warrior, but I just wouldn't surprise me if something beats him at Cheltenham. I'm telling you,
No.
he definitely struggles to win races. He's a bit soft. When something passes him, he just chucks the towel in. And he should have been the second best horse in that race, and he got beaten by his stablemate. And he did. I even said it to Kubo. Kubo had him back. Said as soon as Potter goes past him, he's going to chuck it and just go backwards. That's exactly what happened. Good catch. For me, Potter's worthy favourite now in the Turners. Up until the other day, I think he's probably a little bit underrated. What happened to him at Cheltenham last year? People kind of wrote him off. I backed him in Punchestown, and I think people are like, sure, Sir Gerhard don't like going that way around, right-handed, and end of a hard season. So it's just kind of he fell into a grade 1. I think a lot of people thought Three Stripe Life was the better horse than Gordon's. He put him to the sword in Ferry House, and just his performance the other day, he looked like the real deal. Like, Jamie Codd is talking about him as a future Gold Cup horse.
God,
I think he's class because he's a bit of attitude to him as well. He's a phenomenal looking, big, strapping horse.
He's a bit of a dick.
He's some boy any day.
He's cocking his head out to the left and the right, and Davey brought him over to the rail, and he was still dicking around on the running, but loads of speed, jumps well when he's not making an idiot of himself, because he did make one mistake. I think he's class. I really like him now.
I was so looking forward to him going over fence to that this season. I put him up for a horse to follow. Put him up for an Arthur. But yeah, look, he's a big boy. He was always going to be a better chaser. Look, people forget he won 2 grade 1s over hurdles. So the talent was there. People were put off by his chase debut down Royal, which he was just dicking around. And plain and simple. But then his performance at Fairy House, and then his performance over the weekend. Good God, you want to be the next superstar to beat him now in the Turners. I think it's not if he wins, it's how far does he win by. When Davey let down on him, he just opened up and off he went. I think he's uncomplicated. You can put him anywhere you want. Once his mind is on the game, he just wins. I think that's... I wouldn't take that really away from Adam being chosen. That's the second time.
He's not a bad horse.
He's at the finish second in the grade 1. He'll again go off at a ridiculous price. He could be one you get back each way and wherever he turns up. Galliard, I've never been so happy to see a horse just not go forward. It's just he has to go to the 4 miler. Look, I have him at 7s. At worst, Dave got me value.
Yeah, well, sure.
At worst, got me value. But look, yeah, the worry will always be there that something's going to beat him.
I'm telling you, he chucks it when something goes past.
Well, you go through it, and we didn't touch on it, but Jerry Colombo won the City Eye as a Sandown. So after he won that, he's not going to go to the.
They always said he was going. He's a worthy favourite now for the.
They were going to get him qualified for the 4 mile before that, which kind of hurts in a way because I backed him at 16-1 for it. But he's a worthy favourite, you said there for that. I think the further he goes, the better he's going to be. But again, Galliard is the one where it's, what's going to beat him? But if he gets it all together on the day, I think he could win it really, really easy. And one who I just would never, ever back in my lifetime, ever, and who I just don't get and still don't get, is James Burley, who finished more or less tail off. Yeah. I just don't get him. I don't get what the hype's about. I've never gotten it. I've never seen nothing to get excited about.
I think the hype for James Burley is because he came from France and was straight away entered in champion hurdle. But no, James Burley is a no for me anyway. Sean, what did you think of Plopper?
Yeah, Plopper was good now. He's some beast of a horse. Went down to see him in the parade ring before. Yeah, he's some specimen he is. I've never taken by him, and this performance grabbed me now. He was very, very good. He does still just make that niggly mistake, doesn't he? Like 6 out by the stand, he routed it. And there was a couple in there that he got in tight and he just couldn't sort himself out. But the 4 down the back, he pinged. Like we were standing in the stands there, weren't we, looking across, and he was jumping up onto the back of Goyard and he was putting lengths between him and Kilcrew. He was very good, and he's a very deserved favourite going the turners. I think he hit the front he doesn't do a tap when he's in front. I think Davey would have loved a lead further into the race. You probably get that at Cheltenham. And he put 8 lengths between him and them, stamping his class. And as you said, adamantly chosen, ran on. And yeah, he's a right favourite. He'll take a bit of beating at Cheltenham now.
I convinced Sean to not back James de Burley and back Mighty Power.
Did he say thank you?
He did say thank you. He did.
See what happens when you listen, Sean.
Yeah, we were sitting in the hotel lobby for about an hour and we had this back and forward with each other, and I just held my hat up and took a day's opinion.
Sometimes all right. The hotel was kind of split on Saturday night between him and James de Burley. I think Kubo was the only one that thought Air the Manil was going to win, but he just he goes heart instead of head. The 2 mile race, great ride from Danny Mullins, gentleman to me. He's busting him into fences, making sure he just went as fast and as crazy as he should go. Blue Lord looked like a Ryanair horse to me. He didn't have the pace to go with Gentleman to me, and Slow Royale was third. He's as fucking old as that now, and that's pretty much him.
You know what? Sorry to come across you. Someone on Twitter was talking the other day. He said we need to start trademarking the horses we rename. But to rename it half the time.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Anytime I talk about Jambon, I just call him Jambon, and now I just say it as if it's normal.
But I know people are saying to Paul, some of the rides, I didn't think there was a whole lot wrong with this. Maybe it's a little bit too far back, but the horses didn't have the pace to go with Blue Lord. And when you look back at Christmas, it was him and Shakan, and Shakan is finished. So Gentleman to me last year came into form the back end of the year and won his grade 1s the back end of the year, and it looks the exact same. He didn't do a fucking tap since the start of the year, and then bang, all of a sudden he's back.
Oh, son.
I don't know what to make of it, really. It's just maybe he'll have a chance, but I do think Anorgamine, Edward Stone are probably better than this lot.
I think he has a great chance. There's 3 guarantees in life, death, Danny Mullins winning from the front.
Yeah, but see, and Andrew saving me.
My reactions are unreal.
See, the thing is, Mark Walsh should be back on him then.
That's the only problem. Give that a smack over there. Look with the podcast. There you go.
No, it's going to come down.
I'll just hold my hand for a minute. Live telly. But Gentleman to me, as you say, look at all his best performances came on this kind of ground, yielding ground. And we kind of questioned it last year. Edward Stone was over the top and whatnot in the entry.
No, maybe it was just a good performance.
That's what we want to say. Was it just a good performance? Sorry, I forgot to stick the top. That's what's wrong. But it was a very good performance. Blue Lord looked one-paced. Whether the ground this year, but again, go back to the Arkle last year. He looked very one-paced in the Arkle again. So I'd say you have to go Ryanair about with him now. They're saying, he was flat and whatnot, whether the ground was too quick for him as well. He just doesn't have the pace. I'd go on that angle. He just doesn't have the pace for 2 mile.
Ryanair horse, if Alaho's not there.
Yeah. Aloe seems to be alive and well.
Yeah, he looks all right anyway.
Looks
Looks all right.
Well, we thought that about bloody the big, beautiful chestnut looking bastard who's entered, and things 2 days later, boom.
Yeah,
Nothing.
he's the same as top of the game.
But yeah, it wouldn't shock me if he pulled off the upset, gentlemen. To me, I'll just put it that way. It wouldn't shock me.
Sean.
The substitute right here, Danny Mullins, was unbelievable right here. Canny Danny out the front. You couldn't have a better man, let me tell you that. It's right. He rode it. Was skinned the weekend. He had 3 Grade 1 winners, and I thought this was him at his best. He just let this fella win. He sat in behind at the start, and then he took her up just at the right time, didn't he? Just as he started to slow it down, and he started to ping them down the back. Blue Lord, I honestly don't know what to make. I said this would be my biggest shock defeat the weekend if he was beaten, and I don't know what to make of it, to be completely honest. Skew Royale, I'd say he's probably gone at the game. I said it to Dave halfway down the back. His jumping and stuff was gone, and he just doesn't look like the half the horse he was. Good performance, but I couldn't be having him now in a champion chase picture. I wouldn't be having him in the 3 places at all.
Yep, I agree. The next one is Nana State Man. I had questioned his jumping, but up against Honeysuckle and Vauban, he pinged every hurdle like an actual champion hurdler this time. I thought it was very good. I know people are questioning the form because Pied Piper was still on the bridle 2 out, but I just think it's the pace of the race, and it was a very good ride by Paul Townend. One of his better ones. He was very good on galloping. He's very good on State Man here. He got the fractions right, which you can do at Leopardstown, and then kicked away. Good race from Honeysuckle. Good race from Vauban as well. He should make a right good hurdler next year when he's a bit stronger and a bit bigger. But State Man goes, I think, to the champion hurdle now with he's rightly second favourite. He's Tom's dream of a bet at 3-1 odds each way. You know he's going to be second, barring accidents then to Constitution Hill. But what we saw over the weekend, and I think Constitution Hill will win, but I also thought Facile Vega would win, and I also thought Blue Lord would win, and I also thought Lossymouth would win. So nothing is ever that simple in racing, and he will be, I think, the best horse that Con Hill will come up against. I would think he'd give Epatante a fair bit of whacking as well. So State Man's very good. He's turned into a really good horse. How he got in off the into the county hurdle last year off the mark he's in, I'll never know. That was
daylight robbery.
That was criminal stuff. And he's 3 Grade 1 since.
Yeah, horse that just is improving with racing, and he's only going to get better. People, as you said, people will question the form. Look, Honeysuckle made a stumble. I think was at 2 out. Made absolutely no difference to the result. Look, we'll talk about her in a minute. But State Man, good race, controlled it really well. Paul did, kicked at the right time, had race in the bag turning in. He's a horse that will keep improving. I think he's just going to give Con Hill a lead to the last. I think it'll take a miracle performance to beat Constitution Hill. He just looks bomb-proof. You think he came out 2 races this season, absolutely whacked Epatante out of sight, and Epatante comes out and wins like a champion hurdle horse.
Look, I think Con Hill will win, but anything can happen in horse racing. I reckon Facile, we talk about him in a minute, but he's clearly got injured along the way, and that can happen. So State Man goes there with a good chance.
100%. He's going to be
not in, you can't win.
Exactly. He's going to be by far the best horse that State Man's going to come up, or State Man, Constitution Hill has come up against. He'll give him a very good race. And you said he's Tom's dream each way bet.
Oh, I texted him already about it. He said if just have to find the second one now to do the double.
But yeah, it goes there with a massive chance. Look, we touched on Honeysuckle there. Obviously, she's going to the mares now, which I think she goes there with a right chance.
Yeah, I can't see her winning, to be honest.
I think she goes there with a right chance. You think, like, she's running up to her max?
I just think she's being retired if she's not going Cheltenham for the champion hurl. Now she's going for the mayor hurl. All these second thoughts and afterthoughts, never good.
Okay, the horse doesn't know. Like, the horse doesn't know. I was meant to go here, I meant to go there. She doesn't know what she's running against. But look, I'm going to talk heart over head every day of the week when it comes to Honeysuckle.
I think it's looking for a swan song and hoping she'll win and go out on a win, but I just think she's regressive. Like,
I just this I don't get. Where's the whole regression coming out of? We go back. Let's go back to Let's go back to Fairy House, right? She got beat by Classical Dream and Tihupu.
I tell you where
she's ever run
I tell you where the regression came. If she was running to the rate of 172, she'd still be beaten, probably stay.
Like, I'm not saying she's improving by any stretch of imagination. She's probably getting a little bit worse than she was, but she's not gone. Like,
no, she's not gone, but she's regressive. She's not as good as she was.
Yeah, she's not as good as she was.
But, and she's coming up against like 9-year-olds don't win championship races at Cheltenham, and it's the mayor's hurdle, but it's a grade 1 and it's their championship, and it's a second thought. She's going up against, fair enough, Epatante, but she's going up maybe against Marie's Rock. She's going up against Love Envoy. She's going up against all these progressive mares that are coming into their prime. I can't see her winning whatsoever.
Look, I'm always going to make a case for this. I don't know why. Look, I'm going to get called like talking shite. I probably am. I probably call Marge I'm talking shite. But right now, I think her main danger is Marie's Rock. Like, people are saying, Epatante's going to be her. She's had to beat Epatante the last 2 years in the champion hurdle. Beating her easy. I don't get this part of the talk. If Epatante hasn't run in that mayor's hurdle at Warwick or whatever it was, I guarantee you everyone under the sun would say Honeysuckle beats Epatante.
I personally don't think Epatante will win it. I know Sean is all for Epatante. I just think it'll be one of the younger brigades.
I don't think Love Envoy is at that caliber. I think the one that will beat him, if it all does beat him, is Marie's Rock.
If she goes there, if Marie's Rock goes there, I'd have her
and you
all.
Can't back. I put up a Brandy Love anti-post. You can't back Brandy Love now with any confidence.
Yeah. If Marie's Rock went there, and I hope she does, it'd be hard for me. But I actually think Love Envoy has a really, really good chance. I don't think she's as ground dependent as I think she likes heavy ground more than other horses. But I just think she's an actual good horse.
Don't get me wrong. I think she's a really good horse. I just think she's going to be just that short of proper grade 1 level horse. I think, like, take Honeysuckle out of it. If it was her against Marie's Rock, I think Marie's Rock just smashes her.
I think Marie's Rock is just the turn of foot that is going to beat other horses.
Yeah,
like the way it is.
Marie's Rock can win over 2 and she can win over 2.5, which is a massive plus when it comes to, obviously, it's a 2-2 or 2-3, whatever it is. But
Sean, any opinions?
Yeah, I was on Stateman's side here. Not many men were on Stateman's side in the crew. There were a lot of Honeysuckle side, but I thought the Paul Townend ride was a 10 out of 10 now. He set these fractions perfectly. He made his way around, and I'd said it before. I thought maybe that was going to be the winning and losing of the race. The more I thought about it, with no front runner, it was going to be a tactics between Paul and Rachel. His jump at the second last when he stood outside the wings, my God, that was some leap if you have a look at that. And Honeysuckle's peck at the third last. As I said, from that point on, I just thought she was never going to do it. She was off
behind it. I fixed it for Sunday.
She was off, and now she was off after the second last, where normally she's taken into the bend. But Stateman, like, how unlucky is he to have Constitution Hill around? Like, he's probably a mid 170s horse, like a proper champion hurdle winner most years. Only for Con Hill is in there, and he's really good. He's just fell on an unfortunate time. I think he's a very good horse. On the Honeysuckle side, I wouldn't have her at all. Now she's 2-1. And she'd probably be my lady to meet if she went the Mare's Hurdle at 2-1 now, with the caliber of opposition she has in there, like Marie's Rock, Epatante, Brandy Love, Love Envoy coming through. I couldn't be having her at all. I think she, as Dave said, she is on the down. She's just not travelling with that same zest. Is she? Normally you'd see Rachel after jumping the second last, she's pulling out of her hands, but she was chasing after her and she couldn't get any near Stateman, and he pulled away by 6th, and the rest in behind Vauban. Vauban's probably going to be one for next season now when Stateman goes over fences. He could clean up a couple of grade 1s and get his time to shine next year, because I think he could be that cut above, and Honeysuckle won't be around. but Statement stamped his class on this.
See, I don't agree with that statement now. Sorry to go cut across again. The whole honeysuckle comes there on the bridle. Honeysuckle never comes down the bridle.
She does not travel with that.
Yeah, but you go back and look at her champion hurdle wins. You look at her first one. She got ridden up to go past horses.
Yeah, but then she had a sustained kick.
I know.
That she doesn't have anymore.
Yeah, I get that part, but the whole she never travels. Never travels with any purpose.
It was the same in the Morgiana. She came there, and then Rachel asked for the effort, and it's just not the same as it had been the last couple of years, which is fair enough. She is a 9-year-old mare.
Yeah,
we just stroke her and make her run really fast. It's breaking my heart.
Yeah, I was fuming. When I heard the news, I was absolutely fuming. I think
I couldn't believe. No, I thought she was going to go after the fucking money that came for her.
Oh, lads, the money in here. Like, she went down to 11. I couldn't believe it. I went down for statement, and then we went out to pre-praging, and I came back, and they were both 11 to 8.
Well, my wasn't as glamorous as yours. I went out to make a cup of tea. She was doing one. When I came back in, she was 11 to 8.
We were debating this Saturday night as well, and I was for honeysuckle, and
I put you back in the camp there, didn't I?
Totally changed my mind on Sunday as well. It's like, she ain't beating Statement. He's going to be too fast.
It was always going to be a head over heart bet.
And the money went on Statement. It's like, there's no way I'm betting with my heart.
Like we can say it now. We had a chat about it in our group, and I said, I'm going to say what I would have said if it was on the show. I said, right, I'm going to put up honeysuckle, and I said to them, 100% back a Statement.
No, I done the business. I thought it was very impressive. But I want to, if Con Hill, if Statement goes there like that, and he's probably going to be rated 170 odd anyway, that kind of range, and Con Hill beats him on the snap by like 10 lengths, that horse is going to be rated about 100 million.
I'm still convinced he's going to do that now. I think he's going to take him as far as a horse has ever taken him, and I still think he's going to win this by 5-6 lengths plus.
It's mad. Like, and you look, if you were to put up like Mighty Potter, like how good looking a horse is to Constitution Hill, Con Hill looks like a donkey beside him, like one of them small little mini donkeys. Yeah. And there you go. It's just the engine is there.
He's probably still building into his frame because he was a slow developer.
But sure, no one knows like how, because he's never off the bridle. Like, he's just like, oh, so we're going faster, okay. Mad joke. The last grade 1, Facile Vega.
This is impressive. You have nothing in front of you, and you're just not racing.
Sure, I know them all. I've been flicking back and forth, but I had them all. Don't worry, I definitely know this one. Facile Vega 100% Facile Vega bombed out, came last. Il Était Temps, which it was just a disaster of a weekend anti-post for me, right? Because even yesterday, Queen's Gamble didn't run great. Like Sandra Clegane probably he's right still in there with a chance. Facile fucking, we'll talk about that in a minute. I literally only put up Il Était Temps because it's like he'll definitely come second to Facile on Sunday, and then he won't go for the Supreme, and he might get a decent rating for the County Hurl. Sure, he's definitely going for the Supreme now, so that's another one in the toilet.
Tell him what you did yesterday.
I'm not doing the anti-post show anymore now next year. I'm done with it. It stresses me out too much. Like I counted them. I text Kubo.
The thing is, I know the lad, like obviously that Il Était Temps is Hollywood Bet's horse. I was talking to the lads, and they said if that thing didn't win, it was going to County Hurl.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Like, and it was
100% going to County
Hurl. It was obvious. It was obvious, right? That's where you go. Like you told me, Journey with Me. RSA, he's clearly slow as a boat. They're fucking running him in the Turner. He's not even entering the audio. Kubo went through him yesterday. There's like 6 of them. They're just
keep going. This is great. Keep going. Man.
Just frustrating to be belief. But anyway.
But my horses are coming back from the dead. Blazing Cattle is not dead, lads.
Oh, stop.
Come on.
Facile bombed out. Il Était Temps has turned himself inside out because he couldn't race last year. He was a lunatic. The hood's on him. He seems to settle a bit better.
Anybody could have settled off that pace.
And we talk about that. Look, I love Facile Vega. Racing just brings you down and brings you back up so quickly. Because we'll talk about the handicap next. I was reeling after this now. I was reeling. I was just proper upset. Like, he is my favorite horse in the whole world now. And when I seen him, and I knew going around the back is like they've gone too fast, and he's just not traveling. This after three hurdles. So personally, and obviously it's come out today that he's been lame and sore. I didn't think he was kind of going to win at any stage. I don't think they clearly went very fast, like Sean done the times and all that. I don't think that's what got him beat. I think he was beat way before that. He went too fast at Christmas. And Ilete Tom came up beside him, and he still managed to kick away and win by 4 or 5 lengths. And I think that's what Paul thought was going to happen. Again, like, you're trying to teach him how to race, but he's a big bull of a horse, and he just wants to go faster.
Yeah.
He knew he had to beat Ilete Tom by 4 or 5 lengths. They clearly are working at home. He knows he's the better horse. So he's probably as shocked as anyone that there was nothing there when he went for it. But he didn't seem to travel with the same zest. Ilete Tom won. There's a turnaround of about 30 lengths. So something went wrong somewhere. He's lame in that today. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if he didn't make Cheltenham. I think there's more than just the pace in the race. They did go fast because High Definition was flying, and he was so tired at the 4th hurdle or whatever when he fell at. I think it was the 4th hurdle. He couldn't even lift his legs off the ground. So that played into it as well. But I think Fassel, they thought he was that good that he'd just get away with stuff like that. Clearly he didn't. It was a bitter disappointment. I've never heard a lull in the crowd at a race meeting. And I know all the ones I've been at, and you see favourites getting beat and stuff. I think everybody thought this thing is like a freak, and he's the real deal. And he was in all the multiples on Sunday, and you're waiting for, when he went off, you're just waiting for the roar when he came there, like he did last year in the bumper, and it kind of left a sour taste, I think, in the crowd until the next race. But yeah,
do you know what?
It was like a kick in the teeth, to be honest.
Say so. Hence why I actually I take piss out of you all the time and stuff.
I love this horse.
I couldn't even bring myself to text you about it. I was that heartbroken for you.
It physically hurt me.
I know it did. Hence why I didn't text you.
This is how you feel about honeysuckle.
Yeah, it's not nice, is it?
No, it's horrible.
It's terrible feeling.
It's horrible. It's just this sinking feeling as you start going backwards.
It's like your own child.
And this fucking grey rat that used to run around like a lunatic last year. I was like that, melted into the crowd.
Oh, good times. But yeah, but you know what boggles me about what they're doing with Vega? It's like in his bumpers days, he never led.
No, but he always had something going mad out in front, and it just suited him down to the ground.
They had one. His name was High Definition.
Yeah, there was no reason to take him on.
I didn't get it from the word go. Why in the name of God are not taking the lead off him? They've always wanted. They tried it with Lete Tomp the last day, but he made a balls to the first. And now you have this thing that's a flat horse, who's a very good flat horse, who went off like the clappers. Oh no, let's go with him.
And look, I still think there's something extra wrong with Fassel Vega, but I said it all week. I was like, that horse not going to get back because it's exactly what he wants. High Definition went fast the last time, and he can sit 4 or 5 lengths behind that pace and then kick off the bend. And then after the first hurdle, I was like, why is he beside him? Where are they going to sprinters?
Me and Dave looked at each other here and said, what on earth is he doing here?
Do you know as well, he's jumping with shite as well.
Yeah, I was poor, but they were all poor enough.
High definition. Fast like Vegas jumping is sketchy at worst. At worst, I don't know what's the worst or best.
He jumps like Faheen.
He's an odd bad jump in him. High Definition looked like he was actually going really well.
Yeah.
Up to that point where he knuckled on landing. But look, coming between the wings of what would have been the second last, you knew he was back.
Oh, he's gone, yeah.
Because, as you said, there was no... When Elite Tom came up to him, you're expecting him to just start going like that again. There was nothing there. He didn't pick up. And the fact Paul stood up on him before the last, to me, that said there was something was going on. The first thing comes into your head, he's at the bleeding. Something.
I texted you yesterday about him. I'd say he burst the blood vessel, but I hope he didn't because it's not a good thing.
You know, the only good thing to come out of it, and if he does make Cheltenham, he's a tasty price now.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to think. Sean?
Yeah, Jesus, we're absolutely distraught after this. I'm not going to lie to you. I put the times up on Twitter. There's absolutely no doubt they went too quick here. Against Stateman, he was 8 lengths clear after the first, he was 15 lengths clear after the third. He was 24 lengths clear after the fifth, and he held that until the sixth when he was still 24 lengths clear. But then you see the rapid downfall. From the seventh, he was 21 lengths clear. To the eighth, he was six, and then down to the last to home where he ended up being beaten by 4 lengths. He just absolutely stopped from the third last home is where he started to come home.
Sorry, Sean, what Sean, sorry, Crouch. What was he beating in the end?
He was beaten by 4 lengths, but he did beat Gaelic Warrior on the handicap by a length and a half. So
there's a single line thing out of it. Because you think if he can control that at Cheltenham, and the fact that he done what he done at Leopardstown, we still only be 4 lengths, and we practically pulled up at one stage.
Look, people have questioned his form and his bumpers. Like he's beaten so many horses that have come out and win races, but the race at Christmas in Leopardstown, like Elete Tompas was second and has franked that form because he's come out and run well again. Like, so you would have thought Facile to be ahead of him again. Pat Thoreau was in that race. There's another horse in the race. They've all won after that race. So his hurdle form from Leopardstown was actually really strong. It was just so disappointing to see a horse bomb out like that. It worries me so much.
Like
it
that
worries me so much.
That third last, like where he was 21 lengths clear down to 6 and then to go behind 4, that has to be, I reckon something did go wrong. It wasn't just stopping as well. But as you said, he beat Gaelic Warrior by a length and a half. But I just want to say, lads, you need to give some credit to this winner, Elite Tomp. Let me tell you that.
It's a good horse.
I can't believe he's not favoured for the Supreme. This is by far the best 2-1 form we've seen. We've seen Irish Point, who couldn't even go to gallop down to the first. He was gone after the first completely. Like, that's Marine Nationale line of form. Elite Tomp romped these, like, absolutely destroyed them, and he's still 9-2, and Marine Nationale is favourite. I can't have that at all. I'm really shocked he's not favourite for the Supreme. 9-2 was more robbery each way. I think he would have a cracking chance each way in the Supreme. Definitely.
I totally agree with you, Sean. I think he's a cracking chance now. I mean, if there was something wrong with Facile, his form is intertwined there, 4 lengths at Christmas behind him. I think he's a right good chance.
I couldn't.
There's the flip side of it. He's never going to get a pace like that to go out again.
No, it definitely suited him. Definitely suited him.
If ever there was a race run to suit a horse, if you want to put him in a machine, that's him.
But the reason I've said it, like the county hurdle, I was thinking because of the fact that he does pull and stuff. Like being around other horses and the county hurdle is always running, and like every race Cheltenham for the most part is running a nice clip that would suit him. Like they're going to go a bit mad in the Supreme, and now that Facile is being beaten, I don't think there's going to be a lot of horses scared away now. Like a lot of people think, our horse can beat Elite Tomp or our horse can beat Marine Nationale, instead of like, we go to the Ballymore because Facile is going to beat everything. Like he's lost that aura of invincibility now, so it might not be like a 6-runner race like you thought it would be. It could be a 20-runner race. I think he's a right good chance.
Yeah, listen, and that's what, like, even I'm not going to run through the times again, but he finished the race 11 lengths clear of the State Man and 19 lengths clear of the Gaelic Warrior, and he wasn't stopping. Like, that was a hell of a performance. I'm really dead shocked he's not. Like, you're going to have High Definition who's going to go to Supreme again. I could see him run the same way. Now, I had a match bet with Tom, and I'll be doing the exact same at Cheltenham. I can't see him placing at all at Cheltenham. He hasn't learned. He still can't jump. Yeah, like he's a right dog. Like he couldn't. Like he fell. He had the jumping problems the first day. I'd be taking him on at all costs in the Supreme if he's to go off, and he were near shorter prices.
I thought he jumped quite well.
Yeah, until he ate one.
Yeah, he ate one at the first, but he was out jumping Facile Vegas stages, and it wasn't even a mistake that he made that made him fell. He could just knuckle that when he. Like that was only his second right thing, but doesn't he? Like, he's going to learn from it. Horse like that will learn from it, and you wouldn't be shocked if he turned up and he went, "Good fuck," and he just couldn't perform so sad.
I'd fall off and cheering at
I think it's one of the most open Supremes after the weekend that we've had in years.
Look, I hope Facile comes back, but I was wicked disappointed. And just we'll touch on the last one because. He's becoming a cult hero, and another one that we've renamed, and it was all about Tom last year. Me, Andrew, and Sean like this horse now. I think he'll he'll make up into an Arkle horse next year if they can sort out his going to the right. But when straight after Fastall's race, and like I was reeling, but everybody was reeling. Like, how did that get beat? How did that get beat? And they pile in. He's 4-1 in the middle of the week. Then he's 2-1. Then he was 6-4, even money, 10-11. And I mean, everybody was on this thing. And the whole way around, they're just waiting. And he comes there on the snap. And the roar out of the crowd when he got over the last, because you could see him veering. He was going towards the crowd, and everybody was like, "Oh, yes!" The whole place. He wasn't even over the line. There was drink going everywhere and everything. That's what it can, like, it brings you down so fast and brings you back up then again so fast. I think he was, for a lot of people that had would have had multiples or like people back in favorites and all that, they needed that one at the end of the week.
This was
he was very good.
No,
if he jumps out to the right like that. But the maddest thing is, he was jumping straight when he was in around horses. When he had a little bit of daylight, he just went that way.
I think Paul gave him absolutely no choice in the matter, because he had him nailed into the rails and the wings of every single hurdle. So he had no choice but to go straight. The second he got a bit of daylight, he nearly came up to you to have a pint with you.
Yeah, and to tell you, we're talking about Potter. The Gaelic Quarter or Garlic Bread he's the most gorgeous horse as well. He's big, huge, strapping yoke. So,
what do you do with him now?
I don't care.
What's the plan? Where'd you go?
I don't care. He's a cult hero now anyway. He's reached status that not many get to.
There'll be a Rich Richie scarf up here next now.
Yeah. I have yet to buy a Rich Richie scarf, but it's coming now for Garlic Bread.
Yeah, like me and Tom were on the show last week and we said it, like, we got mega GSO'd into this fella at 4-1 when we seen certain things the way they go, and then Tom was getting windy about him being declared, as Tom does, and when declarations came out on Friday morning, I tell you, there was 2 happy men, and he was smashed. He went off odds on the track. We had about 50-60 lads around us, didn't we, Dave?
Yeah.
All watching the show, and we're all on Gaelic Orient, and this was like last chance saloon to start winning our money for the weekend. And I tell you, when he swung off the bend, my God, there was programs, there was fists, there was hands, everything in the air going down to the last, let me tell you that. And he winged it. But just on his jumping, he went right at the second, and then he had what's available outside him the whole way. He didn't really jump too bad. But I tell you, as soon as you've given daylight down to that last, he went about 3 hurdles out to the right. He did in the space of about 2 strides, and bunny hopped to the whole stands. You could just hear oxygen being sucked in as he done it. Yeah, exactly that one. And he pinged there and won well to the line. He was just way too good in the handicap, as we thought. Going forward to Cheltenham with that jump at the last, I couldn't be having him in a Ballymore now, because if he's in contention, you'd have to be a jockey who hasn't done your homework to go out and up the outside of him at the last in the Ballymore. I'd be letting him jump out as far right as he wants and sneak up the inside. So for me, I wouldn't be having him for the Ballymore, but he's definitely a hero, and he got some kick when he won on the weekend.
Do you know, it'd have to be literally a replay ride of what Ruby gave York Hill to win the Ballymore, because he'll have to, Paul will have to stick him on the rail, keep him interested, probably up near the pace, but being up there in amongst horses and literally stick him on the rail like York Hill did, and that horse did not go past until literally right when Ruby wanted it. And then you see what happened with York Hill later in his career. He's just a fucking lunatic, like,
what a legend,
an enigma. And then obviously the bumper, the mayor's bumper, was a good winner. Fun. She might have a chance in the entry bumper, I'd say. I doubt she'll go to Cheltenham.
Yeah, a certain person on the other side of our screen here hopes she goes to the entry.
Yeah, sure. Look.
No, sure. Like, I'm sure the boys are clever.
He's definitely not going.
I'm sure the owners are clever boys and would like to take him.
It was a good performance. Patrick gave us socks. I think he bought the mare when she was in forward.
Yeah.
And so on, whatever. But it was good performance, mares and bumpers. I know we had relegating the Fiona. Remember her?
Yep.
There she was. But I think, look, it wouldn't surprise me if they did, because Jesus Christ, it's wide open this year. Yeah, I'm not on here, right? It's a good performance.
Sean?
Yeah, she was good. She was a little bit raw still, wasn't she? Like, coming around there the back, she was off the bridle, and we were on Lily Duberlays, and we seen him, we were happy, but she latched back onto the bend, let me tell you that, and Patrick came swinging, He kicked home and put distance between these 9.5 lengths. And like Lily Dubélez is a good line of form. She absolutely destroyed her. I think the owners are smart men and they'll send her off to Aintree knowing that it's for me. They have for the champion bumper. And I'd just be a little bit worried about being raw coming down the hill. If she got outpaced, she could lose a right few lengths. Like Leopardstown, you could sort of get away with it. But at Cheltenham, I'd be a little bit worried down the hill. And that grade 2 that they done with Astro Diamond last year, I'd say that's probably next port to call for fun.
She could latch onto the bridle coming down the hill and sprint up the hill.
Yeah, no, I had the bumper.
Imagine.
The lads
done by the owners.
The lads are on the right one. All in all, a great 2 days again. We'll be back next year. I'm going to do it every year, I think. Until I can't do it anymore.
If I'm on my deathbed next year, you're rolling me up in the hospital bed.
It's just tremendous. We had said it leading up, and after last year, that was the best weekend. And that prick Rodway on the race post giving out about it and all this and all that. It's amazing. And you know what? I seen stuff on YouTube and stuff under some of the videos, like English people coming over and being made feel so welcome. And look, that's just the way it is over here. Like,
yeah, like I was even talking to a lad. I was talking to a lad going out in the Lewis now that was over from England, and he was saying how that everyone at Leopardstown is there for the racing. There's no like social side where when you go to Cheltenham and thing like that, people are just there for a drink and all. He said everyone you meet there is for the racing and properly enjoy it. And he said he loved it. He said they definitely won't be missing it again.
That's what I've seen on a few posts on Twitter as well on our episode. Everyone for the race and not one fight did we see.
Yeah, right. Look, it's been noticeable the 2 years. And, you know, maybe some people want it, but this bullshit on ITV Racing and Cheltenham with the fashion part of it and all that, and the flowers and the strawberries and all this bollocks. Like majority of people are watching racing to watch the horses, watch racing, to have a bet. That's what it started with, and that's the crux of what it all is like.
There's a lot of crooks in there as well.
Yeah. Leopardstown, you go up there. It was €6 a point. They didn't put up the prices from last year. It was the same. €50 for the weekend pass. It was the same as last year. It was busier. They could have easily done what Cheltenham did and up the prices. And like we've mentioned how Cheltenham, like it was scandalous what they did. They're going to keep doing it. The only thing about Leopardstown, like it keeps getting busier and busier. They'll probably want to make it a 3-day thing. I hope they don't, and it just stays the 2-day thing. It's perfect the way it is. The hotels up there was the exact same price as it was last year, and the hotel was full again. Like that's the problem. What's going on with Cheltenham now? And and as Sean said, then literally everybody there was there for the races. Men, women, children alike. There was no bad feeling. There was no rows. There was no. You didn't see any kind of that stuff. I didn't see one cop in the place. Like there was no need. Even to the point where walking in and there was like people there like specifically to greet you and like show you the way to this place or that place if you didn't know or you're coming from England, hadn't been in Leopardstown before. It was perfectly ran like.
And like the tickets are on sale for next year already in early bird prices.
I know there was a bit of grumblings. I seen it as well about queuing for toilets. It was more men queuing for toilets because there's more men there.
That's an easy fix for next year.
Like,
you get a few.
Exactly. It's an easy fix, and they obviously didn't expect it to be as busy again on the Saturday. A lot of people from England came on Saturday, went back home Sunday then. But like for what you're getting and the value for money and everything, you know, and like there's people giving out like your man Rob is this all Willie Mullins. But like if you're an English trainer, you can enter your horse and travel. You're not being stopped doing it.
Like the Topville Ben came over, even finished third.
Finished third, got a few pounds, went back.
Yeah, I think
it's not your horse.
Yeah.
I think I seen something that there was 40,000 out there the other day. You want to see the reception when Honeysuckle came in. Like she was rolled up to the second lads, and I haven't seen people move quicker out from the track in to just get to see her. She got some cheer coming in, and I think that just shows that everyone is there for the race. And as Dave said, we didn't see one thing at all fighting or anything like that. And it was just a smashing weekend. And anyone that I talked to that come over from England was saying they'd definitely be booking the tickets back next year. And I'd highly recommend it to anyone else who was thinking about it.
And that's basically it for Dublin Racing Festival. We'll be back Sunday for talking points. We'll touch on the Newbury races, and we will do an anti-post video on Sunday as well. After all that's happened with the trials at Dublin Racing Festival and Newbury,
We might actually go over what we have already.
yeah, we will. We'll go through them all. It's not going to be good reading though. Like that's the God's honest truth. Now.
I went through mine there.
That's
last
bad,
night,
like.
half mine are dead.
Yes, they're bad. They're dead wrong races or Bedfast Vega. Leave your comments below. We'll try to get back to some of them if we can, and we'll go through some comments as well when we're live on Sunday, because we said we'd do that the last time when we had a show. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed our chat about Dublin Racing Festival.
I gotta get up now. Yeah.